Welcome to Midday. We're joined first by Julia Leaving, who's here from Abbott Wealth Management. Welcome.
Thank you, Katie.
You guys always have such great topics. I look forward to seeing what you guys are going to present. You managed to make finances not boring.
Well, that's always a good thing. We like to hear that.
Today, we're talking about children's financial future, how to prepare.
Definitely. So I've kind of just piqued my interest in the current debt load in Canada and whatnot. So that's kind of where the idea came from. Just wondering what we're teaching kids about finance these days.
Yeah, that's funny. I just had a conversation with somebody about that, saying, like, should we be preparing them in school? Should there be a subject specifically for finances? And why on earth isn't there?
Well, there's a little bit. The programs vary across Canada, but in BC, there's mostly learning about interest in math and whatnot.
Right.
There's a little bit of budgeting and planning classes that they do. But there's most of the information that kids learn about finance is actually in the home.
Okay.
And this is definitely an important skill to teach your kids, almost as important as teaching them how to read. So financial literacy and literacy, very, very important skills. So in school, mostly in math class, like I said, they learn about interest, so simple interest, compound interest, the time value of money, budgeting, banking and credit cards a little bit.
Just to touch on one of those, what does time value of money mean exactly?
So how the value of money changes getting it today versus getting it, say, 10 years in the future.
Oh, okay.
So the amount of money that you're kind of giving up, earning power in that amount of time.
Right, okay. So when you start saving, directly impacts how much you'll have when it's over, depending on your timeline. Okay.
Definitely.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Slide number 3.
Yes, so at home, kids develop their financial habits and their attitude towards money there. So things like saving and spending habits, the relationship that they have with money, the confidence that they'll have with financial decisions and financial dependency. So this is super important if there's not a lot of financial education. It can lead to a destructive relationship with money.
Which affects all other areas of their lives.
Exactly, yeah. And so your kid may wind up with a lot of debt and just addicted to buying the latest thing and spending all their money, living beyond their means.
Right, and not really knowing how it happened. Because you hear all the time, especially college-age kids are so surprised. How did I end up here? What happened?
Yeah, definitely. So, and then as a parent, unfortunately, you get the call, hey, mom, dad, I need money.
I'm desperate.
Yeah, so that's not something that is good for you as a parent necessarily. If you're not prepared to be able to give your kids that kind of money all the time.
Absolutely.
So that's causes strain in the relationship there.
And our last slide.
Yeah.
Tips for financial education at home.
Yes, so definitely important to talk about money. It seems like these days money is kind of like one of those taboo subjects.
Right, there aren't that many left. But money still is tiptoed around, for sure.
And definitely important to kind of just involve them in talks about money, budgeting and whatnot in the home.
Right, so they know it doesn't just magically happen.
Exactly.
It doesn't magically appear.
Yes, it doesn't grow on trees. And it's important to start talking about that early because the more they're exposed to it, the more familiar they are with it, the more comfortable, better decisions that they'll make.
And anytime you remove a stigma like that and make it healthier.
Yeah,
the better
it's the awareness and everything, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think we were quite done with that slide. If we could throw it back up there.
So give them control. So takes form in allowance a lot of the time, giving them a little bit of money to play with, be able to make decisions, using their own money to buy toys that they want or whatnot. Just helps teach them how to use money, spend money.
Right, and the parameters of spending versus saving.
Yeah, so definitely important. Wants and needs is very
a big
important. One. Yes, and that's definitely something that I think is learned in the home. And really important when it comes to budgeting. So there's a rule of 50-20-30. 50% of your income should be used for necessities, so needs, 20% to go to savings, and then 30% for wants, discretionary items, entertainment, things like that.
One thing we noticed with our kids, which I think is pretty common, is that the things that kids want feel like things that they need in the moment. So talking about what is the difference between those things.
And how to identify that and actually, you know, live with that.
Yeah, and the importance of earning it, saving for that thing as opposed to money in, money out.
Yes, definitely. There's a couple more things on that last slide there. So help them set goals. Having that goal for something to save for is a motivator to help them save.
Yes, and it's much more gratifying in the end if you have had to save for it.
Definitely, and that actually helps later in life when you're trying to identify things like buying a home or saving for retirement, things like that.
Something that doesn't just take one birthday worth of money.
Yeah, exactly. So that helps carry on to later in life.
And now the tough one.
Yes, so lead by example is important for sure because your kids are going to pick up on all of your habits, right?
Yes.
And
whether you're talking about it or not, they will see.
Yes, definitely. So if you're out buying all the latest things and even though you've told them, you know what, no, you can't have that because we can't afford it, that's kind of teaching them conflicting things.
Absolutely.
So if you lead by example.
And whether we know it or not, kids are watching everything, which includes finances, right?
Yes.
And you'll be talking about that in the home as well. Oh, we can't afford this or that, and kids will hear that.
Definitely. And then I just had a couple other little tips about the about saving. So that, like I was talking about the 50-20-30 rule, putting aside a set amount of money or set percentage of whatever is coming in order to build that savings up, and say when they're going to go buy a car for their 16th birthday or whatnot, then they have that money kind of sitting there.
Good habit.
Yes, and kind of rewarding them as they go along, as they reach those milestones.
Okay. Yeah, that car one is a good example. I've heard of lots of parents who say, you know, if you'll save 80% of the cost, then I'll pay the 20. Or if you buy the car, then I'll help you with insurance.
Yes, definitely.
Incentivizing, right?
Yeah. So it just helps them build those good habits, and matching is always a good one as well. So especially if it's for a specific purpose.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So many good tips, and this is a huge one that really does determine financial future for kids. How we set them up. Let's set them up to win.
Yeah, definitely.
Great. Thanks so much. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you, Katie.
If you would like more information or financial tips, you can email info@abbottwealth.com, or you can visit abbottwealth.com. Thanks again.
Thanks,
Look
Katie.
forward to having you back. We'll be back with more Midday in just a moment.